Okay, we got a lot going on in December, as you can tell here. I'm going to try to follow this in order. There's good stuff the entire month of December. Keep in mind, when people ask me ahead of time what we're doing the next month, usually it has to do with the monthly emphasis. I do get quite a few questions, a lot about baselines. I think people are realizing baselines correlate typically with the monthly emphasis. Normally I do have the entire month done quite a few weeks in advance. But again, I'm prone to mistakes, as everybody is, and once I start telling people what we're doing, it makes it a lot harder to pivot and change directions if I have made mistakes. So I kind of wait till the last second to let you guys know what we're doing, just to make sure there is few mistakes as possible. And I was actually just I was trying to make a video 2 seconds ago trying to show you guys this, and I can't get it to zoom, but if you guys could see my calendar for the month of programming, it's pretty chaotic. Like there's a lot going on, and it's kind of cool, over the years, how much kind of innovated this structure and this training program for Core 4. Just how many things we've added, and on the the nitty gritty side of the programming, how many things I've slowly incorporated and just added layers and layers to what it is that we do. I think it's just kind of behind the scenes things that nobody ever sees or ever thought about, but I don't make these decisions lightly. Like all these things, typically when I'm making a decision, it's truly what I think is best for you guys from a training standpoint. And again, like I said, as always, like constructive feedback is very helpful. Like I do like hearing what you guys have to say. I don't typically love, hearing like I just don't like something. Usually there's got to be some criteria to it, some substance as to why you feel that way, outside of you just don't like it. But please, like some of you guys are really, really good with giving constructive feedback. If you guys have feedback, fire it my way. I'm going to start right at the top here. Core 4 Elements in December. It is on the 6th. I'm really excited about this. This is completely optional. The gym is closed. There are details in the lobby. It is technically a running event in the aerobics side. I am trying to mesh Core 4 and kind of the beauty of our studio and what we do with the elements, literally, no pun intended, but going outside and using land and trail running and still doing actual exercise mixed with the running to create this kind of new event, not just for Core 4, but for everybody around us. So again, you guys can look at the addresses in the lobby. It's 8 a.m. start. I'm sure we'll have some flexibility there as it's brand new to all of us, but it's just a dry run. Like I'm just trying to get as many people there as possible, use our Core 4 membership base. I know this kind of intrigues a lot of people, and just try to see what it feels like with a mass amount of people, more so than like 4 or 5. So please, by all means, come join us for that. No kids, unless your kid wants to work out. Like you guys are welcome to bring your kid if they're capable of running and keeping up and following orders, and obviously listening is a big part of it, and not doing anything silly like my younger kids. So that's Core 4 Elements. Please ask questions if you guys have it. And again, we'll give you more information as we get a little bit closer. We're still a week and a half or so out from that. The yoga schedule, again, rotating. Keep in mind, guys, when you guys see the yoga schedule, it's only one class time a month. So if you're like a 720 person, just one set, not even guaranteed, but most likely one 720 a month will be yoga. And I would love people to, instead of, I think some people just get really comfortable like seeing it and just be like, I'm not going to work out that day. Guys, I'm adding these in there because I believe there's real value, real benefit to you guys doing this at least once. You can always go out of your way to go to Sunday classes as well. But this is free of charge, obviously. Like, it comes with your membership. Mary Beth is awesome. I would love for you guys, when you see it, hopefully you're not just turning around and shutting your alarm off and going back to sleep, but you use it. I think a lot of us need it. I think that's been proven over these last couple months of mobility, that yoga is something, again, just one time a month for a lot of you guys, provides more benefit than it does hurt. So that is for sure. Following that, the mini cycle, shoulder mini cycle, weeks 5 through 8 are in December. Of course, it's only 8 weeks long, so that'll be coming to an end. There's not a lot to say there. Again, like I said, the mini cycle is really just volume, repetition, getting a little bit more comfortable, more understanding of what you're capable of that primary lift. The shoulder press, the seated shoulder press, of course. The deadlift cycle is going to start on December 5th. So this is a big one. Starting a cycle in December is a little funky because of the holidays, but we did manage to totally avoid everything here, which is kind of nice. We can stay right on schedule. Again, the 12-week cycles we're on every 6th day. The deadlift I'm very excited to do myself. Again, if you're somebody who's a little skeptical of it, maybe you've nicked yourself up in the past. Deadlift is not a movement that you're overly comfortable with. Those first few weeks will be really crucial. With a little bit lighter weight, GVT typically is how we begin. Just getting an understanding of how to do it, and maybe even if you do it for a month or 4 weeks, that's still a lot of guaranteed volume on a movement that is just priceless, that you can get under your belt and hopefully feel more comfortable doing down the road. I would totally understand getting to certain weight classes and just be like, hey, I don't feel like my technique is strong enough to do this. I kind of want to bow out right here. Like, totally makes sense. But just not doing it all seems crazy to me when, again, it's written into your guys' programming. It's written in terms of like this timing. It's flawless this month. I really thought we were going to have issues with that. We didn't run into any, which is great. And again, it's one of those things that if you want to get stronger, 12-week cycles are something you certainly want to find yourself doing. Monthly emphasis I'm going to save for a second. The baselines, I'm going to save to go with the monthly emphasis. Christmas, we're closed. And then the 12 days of Christmas, which we're also really excited about. You may have heard a couple people talk about this already, maybe not. We'll start promoting it a little bit more as we get closer. But we're going to do a big Super Bowl squares. So we're gonna do Super Bowl squares. The price of each square, if you don't know what it is, you just you buy a square, get a number. The number is associated with the score of the Super Bowl. You win money based off of if your number lines up with the score of the Super Bowl. Again, we can go into that at another time, or you can just Google it. But we're gonna do 12 days of Christmas, where from December 12th to December 23rd, for every day that you show up, you'll get a raffle. For every raffle, obviously, you get put into a bucket or a drawing. At the end of the 12 days of Christmas, if you win the raffle, we're going to have multiple drawings. You guys will win Super Bowl squares. And we'll also win a lot of other stuff as well. So you guys are going to win. We're going to have a lot of our vendors giving out kind of, whatever it is that they want to give out. It could be, money off. It could be sessions. It could be packs. It could be, a whole abundance of things over the course of 12 days fitness. And all you have to do is literally 12 days Christmas. All you really have to do is just show up. You don't have to do anything special. So all you guys got to do is show up, fill out raffles, put them in the bucket, in for the drawing. The more times you show up, the more drawings you have. And we're going to go from there. But like I said, there'll be more and more details for that as we get a little bit closer. Wanted to make it as easy and as enjoyable for you guys as possible. And I'm pretty excited about, the Super Bowl squares, as I have a little bit of a gambler in me. And I know a lot of you guys do as well. And hopefully this is a good opportunity for a lot of us within our community to kind of have a little gambling fun with one another come the actual Super Bowl, which again, of course, if you don't know, is in February. The 24th and 25th were closed, but the 24th, I'm going to open it up to kind of like an open gym. So we're closed, but we're not closed on the 24th. I work out every year on Christmas Eve, my wife and I, and I would love for you guys to join us. I'm going to save the 12 days of Christmas baseline for the 24th. So normally I run it a couple days ahead of Christmas Eve. I'm going to keep it on Christmas Eve, and I'm going to open up the doors. Right now, I think I have in the schedule 3 hours of classes early, like 7, 8, and 9. Obviously, it's very flexible. We can move that. I'll be there no matter what. So as we get closer to that and people start signing up and showing whether or not they're going to come on that day or not, I'll open up other hours if necessary. But you can plan to do the 12 days of Christmas baseline on Christmas Eve, which is kind of nice because like I said, the cycles kind of, they fall a couple days ahead of time, and I don't want to cancel one of those for a baseline like this. So the baseline is the monthly emphasis. Monthly emphasis is VO2 max training. So we're going to do VO2 max training. I am very excited about this. This is probably my favorite type of training. I think this is the kind of stuff that is just insanely valuable. I talk often about raising your ceiling and increasing your output and, raising your floor. Well, VO2 max training is your body's ability to consume oxygen. It's becoming more efficient. It opens your ability to pretty much do anything cardiovascular wise. But in our world, it's like, not just running, biking, rowing, or ski erging. It's a lot of times your ability to transition out of those things and regain your composure and break down lactic and move into something else. So we're going to do a lot of, what you're going to see is a lot of, when I say VO2 max training, you're going to see a lot of not necessarily prolonged intervals, but you're going to see Lots of intervals, meant to be done at a pretty aggressive pace, with the caveat of having to want to recover appropriately after that really strong pace. So that'll make more sense as we go. We're gonna see them on all pieces of equipment. I don't want this to just be running. I think a lot of people see VO2 max and they just assume running. We're not gonna just run. Well, not that you can see it, but on my other screen, I have like 20 workouts written for all 4 pieces of equipment that I'll kind of nitpick through here and refine as we go based off of how people perform. But again, something like this is the type of training that on a personal level, I fall in love with. Like, time goes by so fast. It's like broken up into multiple different intervals of high octane output. It really challenges you in like a really fun way. Obviously it's hard, but a really fun way to, it makes working out fun. It's like, it allows you to try to achieve something every single interval, which is really, really neat. And for example, like, I think your first one, and don't quote me on this, your first one of December, this may not be true. Somewhere in the early parts of December, you'll do like 3 minutes on, 2-minute active recovery. Obviously, the option is you can walk, but your goal is to do 5 rounds of 3 minutes on with a 2-minute active recovery at about 70% output, aka a very sustainable pace, but really kind of approaching what that max ceiling is for you and still being able to recover at the 2 minutes. So 3 minutes, highly aggressive as you can be at an individual level, really challenging that ceiling. And then again, having the ability or the wherewithal to know where you can, what's the highest output you can sustain while still being able to come down and recover in that 2-minute, hopefully jogging recovery. I do make all of these very flexible. So you guys have choices in terms of like, hey, I pushed it way too hard on this. There's no way I can jog here. I'm going to walk and I'm going to work my way into a jog. There's going to be a lot of options like that. So don't be overly concerned if you hear this, but I'm hoping this is a way people can see a more refined approach to training with a purpose and a very finite, precise purpose, and maybe find it a little bit more enjoyable than when we just do like a 10-minute really hard EMOM where we just kind of like die and we don't really know the purpose of it. This is typically that purpose is to increase our ceiling and work on our VO2 max. And the beauty of this is that it translates right into Carolina Longevity. If you guys know, they're right next to us. They offer VO2 max VO2 max testing. So a lot of you guys, I know some of you have already gotten it. I'm going to start talking about that as we move our way through December and the new year. But VO2 max, having the opportunity to walk across the street and do your true VO2 max and see what it is so enlightening, and it's so much data. It's so neat, and that's something that you guys can hopefully see over time continue to increase if it's something that you wanted to get checked in on. You can do it right across the street, which is crazy because a lot of those things don't exist. Like, just finding a VO2 max anywhere around us is hard. It being right next door is really, really cool. So anyways, that was a lot to go through. Hopefully you listen to me on 1.5 or 2 times speed, and you can understand everything I'm saying because I know that I mumble a lot. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, this is December for you.